Hey guys, for today's Foundation Friday First Impressions, we are testing out the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. So I ordered these foundations directly off of the e.l.f. website, and one thing that's always crazy about ordering, online or somewhere in a drugstore is that you don't get to test and you don't know what the colors are. So I went ahead and picked up two colors, so hopefully one of these will work out correctly. We'll do a little swatch here in just a second. So I have the color of alabaster and porcelain. So I'm just gonna see if one of these is close to my face. I'm gonna go ahead and do these a quick shake. So with these, you are getting net weight of 0.68 fluid ounces. So most foundations that you get are going to have around 1 ounce. So do keep in mind that these have less foundation in them than a normal size foundation that you're getting usually from a drugstore or from a department store. But it is also pretty inexpensive, and even if you were to average it out, what it would be for an ounce. So just something to keep in mind, it is less foundation than usual, but I have to give it to e.l.f. This is pretty nice. It's like a glass packaging. It's a square, and it does say that it's oil-free, has an SPF of 15, and when you take off the lid, it does have a pump. So I do like that about this foundation because I don't like it when foundations don't have a pump because I just don't think it's as hygienic. So kudos to them for keeping the price point low and still giving you a pump. And maybe that's some of the trade-off that you're getting with a nicer packaging and getting, a little less product to keep the price down. So I'm not going to hold that against them. I have never tried these foundations before. This is a true first impressions. I am pumping a lot to get it started. Here we go. Let's see. So here is the first, and what is this? This is the porcelain color. And then let me get the other one started here. Let me use a different finger. Still pumping. It's gonna get there. It's gonna get there. I believe. Oh, there we go. This is lighter, it seems like. This is the color alabaster. I think I'm gonna go with the first one. Yeah, I think so. As always, with one half of my face, I will be using a brush, and with the other half of my face, I will be using a beauty blender. And I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the brush. So this foundation doesn't really have too much of a liquidy feel. It feels a little bit thicker. It's not as easy to blend with the brush, and if you're looking closely, you'll see a lot of streak marks. And I feel like it also has a tiny tint of pink as well as part of this undertone. And I don't know if that's coming across on the camera because as I'm looking at it, it looks pretty good on camera. So I don't know. It certainly translates differently. So I'm going to do the other half of my face with a beauty blender. Do you guys have a problem with always getting foundation in your hairline as you're, using a blender or even a brush? It's really impossible for me to do that cleanly. That's why you'll always see foundation in my hair. Okay, so I'll say that it may not be coming across on camera, but I definitely prefer the way that it looks with a beauty blender versus a brush, with one small exception, and it's right here in the cheek area. I feel like on this side of my face that has the beauty blender, it feels like you can see more of my pores, even though I used a pore filling primer, and I feel like it's not as noticeable on the side with the brush, but for the rest of the face, I really feel like it looks better with the beauty blender. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off and just try and get it even all over. First impressions, what I think about this, it does seem to have a texture that is a little thicker. It's not as liquidy as I thought that it might be for, a cheap drugstore foundation. It's actually quite thick. And one drawback of this particular foundation is it feels kind of thick and heavy on the face, even though I used, 2 pumps, which is maybe pushing it for me. But there was actually one last week where I used 3 or 4 different dumps from the foundation bottle, and it didn't feel as heavy as this. So I don't know if I like that as much, although I do like this one better than last week. This one definitely has not as much of the bunching up and dry skin area. It's not as telltale on my nose, which is always the worst part. So I don't mind that as much. As far as the finish, I think more of a natural / medium finish is what you're getting from this. And the fact that it's so inexpensive, I do like that about this one. So I think this was I think it was $6. And there's not too much of a smell either, which is great because you know, sometimes when you have smell and fragrance, it does seem to like irritate my skin more. So I'm not as offended by anything like the smell that's coming from this. Alrighty, I'm back. I don't know what happened. The camera completely died and I didn't see it until I was watching the film back. So I'm back. So I have to say, for $6, it's actually one worth trying and checking out. Some things to keep in mind. Again, you're not getting a full ounce. You're getting 0.68 ounces. So keep that in mind when you're doing your cost-benefit analysis ratio in your head, okay? And another thing that is kind of a con is going to be the fact that you have to go, you know, online and kind of guess your shade, or in store you're just kind of like holding up the bottle to your face, and so it's a little bit of a mystery sometimes when you don't get to actually swatch them and know what your color is. So like I did, I had to order a couple of them and hope one of them was going to be correct. And so for some people that may not be worth it, because you're basically doubling or tripling the price if you have to buy a few to try and get your correct shade. I'd say it's more of a medium finish. It's not completely opaque, and I do like that it has SPF 15 in there, but you do need to be careful because foundations that have and contain SPF can give you that flashback in flash photography, of course. So I don't know about the claims on that because I haven't taken a photo with it, but just something to keep in mind. And if you guys have favorite foundations, you know, whether they're drugstore or, you know, a little bit more high end, please let me know in the comment section so I can see, you know, what kind of foundations you guys are wanting me to try out. I do have a drawer full to get me through the rest of the year, but always willing to get another foundation because this is probably going to be a series for the foreseeable future because I just don't see the world running out of foundations for me to try, right? As always, I hope you guys are doing so awesome and I appreciate you spending your time with me. I will see you in a video very soon. Bye!